Well, we got another Wallke e-bike. Let's go check it out. Here we go. How you doing? So today we're going to unbox the Wallke X3 MAX. You see behind me I have the second generation X3 Pro. Basically this is the same bike, but it's got dual motors, still has a 20 amp hour battery I believe, much nicer display. We're going to find out. Now if you're familiar with my channel, you know I usually do these unboxings live, but those videos run really long and they're not the best quality. If you're not familiar with my channel, I'm Tracy. I work on bikes, bugs, boats, beyond. Thanks for checking me out. Let's crack this sucker open. So you may be tempted to take a box cutter and slice this box open. I wouldn't recommend that. If something got broken in shipping or for some reason you have to send it back, you want to keep that box intact. So I'm going to use a 5-way tool, maybe some needle nose pliers. Do not use a carpet knife. Got it? And I know this may seem tedious, but these all come out really easy. And they did glue the long side too, so you just want to get in there and pop her loose. Oh, there it is. Okay, and I have it in the wrong direction, so let's give her a quick spin. And there we go. Now we're going to take some side cutters and get to popping loose some zip ties. We're probably going to make a big mess. Headlight, battery and tools. All right, I got most of the zip ties off and all the foam off. Got a nice pile of junk there. And there's our headlight and a box with probably our charger and tools and miscellaneous goods. So let's start putting her together. There's still a few zip ties left down here holding the bike to the wheel. So get those clipped. Make sure not to clip any wires. All right, here we go. It's an X3. And yet more zip ties. And once you get it up and you get the fork straight, it should kind of stand on its own. I think that's it. And of course I'm on my own today, but if you can get help doing this, I highly recommend it because it can be a little bit awkward. I've got it kind of balanced on the front fork, and when it comes to putting on this big heavy front motor, things are going to get a little tricky. There's the fender. Now it's at this point before you go any further, you're probably going to want to give it a good look over, make sure nothing got damaged in shipping. I'm seeing no damage on this bike whatsoever, but I am seeing a way beefier swing arm than the old bike, way bigger brakes. Yeah, this is going to be cool. And of course, to put this thing together, let's check out the tools that they sent us. Let's see what's in the box. We got a 19 mil box end and the owner's manual. A couple of zip ties. These are probably going to be for the motor cables. A set of metal folding pedals. A 17/14 wrench. A 13/15. Pretty decent set of ball head Allen wrenches. And I'm assuming this is our charger. Now it seems like every Wallke e-bike I get, the chargers just get a little bit better and better. So let's see what they gave us on this one. Charger is a pretty standard unit. There is no fan, so it might get a little bit warm. It's a 3 amp charger, pretty much like we got with the old bike. All right, we're gonna start with the handlebars because we gotta flip the bike over in order to put the front wheel on. So I did notice when I pulled this out that one of the brackets on our display is not screwed in. So that means the screw fell out. And guess what? I looked down, and there it is. So it's really important that you not pitch all this stuff. Make sure you have all your parts out just in case any little screws fell out. But even if I had lost it, these little fasteners are easy to come by at any hardware store. It's really no big deal. And the hardware for our display is going to be a 2.5mm Allen wrench. And this is interesting. This display has a dual hinge clamp, whereas the old one was a single hinge and it was a little tough to get on. So this is nice. So I'm not going to worry about clamping down the display just yet because I want it to be able to move out of the way so I can put it all together. I did stick my hardware in there so I don't lose it. And by the way, there are the keys zip tied to the brakes. Now, of course, for packaging, the neck is pointed aft, so we're going to rotate that forward using a 6mm Allen wrench. Then once you got those 6mm loose, you're going to pop off this little rubber cap and use a 5mm to loosen up that steering stem screw. That was in there good. All right, now we should be able to turn that guy around, no problem. And this is an articulated neck piece. That didn't come on the last bike. I had to buy one for that bike, so good on you, Wallke. All right, so we got that relatively straight, so let's tighten that sucker down. Not too much, because we're gonna do some fine tuning when we're all done here. And take our 6mm and tighten it up. Not too tight, don't crank down on any of this stuff. We just want it forward. We'll dial it all in when we're done. So this is really cool. I've actually never seen a neck like this. It's really nice. You use your 5mm to kind of loosen those side nuts, and then you loosen up another one down here with your 5mm, and that's going to loosen a plate. That'll bring that up. And that plate is also a stop. So once you have this screwed in, this thing cannot loosen up and fall down on you. That is really nice. What a great piece. As for your handlebar clamp, there's 4mm Allen bolts, and I'm actually just going to go ahead and get these completely out of the way, make things easy. All right, then we're just going to set our handlebars on there and get our clamp in place. And we have our 4mm Allen bolts that are going to secure that. And again, I'm not too concerned about battening all this stuff down. Just want to make sure you don't cross thread anything. And then once we have the bike all put together, then we'll dial in and kind of tune in where we want the handlebars and make sure that the bars are straight to the front fork and things like that. We're just kind of getting stuff together here. And since we're going to be flipping the bike over, I'm going to take this 2.5 Allen and loosen up our buttons and flip them out of the way. I'm not really worried about the shifter. It's not electronic. It's pretty sturdy. Okay, now it's time to flip the bike over. This probably isn't the best way to do it, but I need it facing this way to be able to get light on the shot. And I'm actually going to use this chunk of foam from the packaging to lay the handlebars in. There we go, straighten that out. Nice. Now I have to mention this real quick. While you're putting this bike together, it is really important not to squeeze the brake levers. These are hydraulic brakes. Now this does have a spacer in here, but squeezing those without a spacer or the caliper in there will create pressure in there, and your brakes will just never be right. They'll have to be bled. I guarantee that most people have problems with the brakes on these bikes. They did that. So be careful. Here's the spacer. I'm going to stick it back in there just for safekeeping. Okay, once we've used our 17mm wrench to loosen up our fork stabilizer bar that it ships with, we're going to take our 3mm Allen key and take off the tops of these, well, I guess they're bottoms, of these torque washers. Now, on the last dual motor bike I got from Wallke, these were not pre-installed, and I have heard people say that their bike shipped without them installed. Now, it's, again, really important to check all your stuff to make sure that you got all the hardware in case anything came out. But on this bike, they are actually pre-installed, so we're going to pull these off so we can get this out and drop our wheel in. Take the ones out of the sides too. Also, the older bikes didn't have that screw that went through there, so that's pretty cool. It seems like everything on these bikes, every new one I get, they've just taking things a little bit further. Get this guy off of here, get this one off of here, and just be real careful not to lose any of these. These are all the exact same size, by the way. Take that guy, and that out of there. See, on the old bikes, you had to press these in on your own. So it's really nice that these just come pre-installed. All right, so we're ready to drop our wheel on there. These axles are squared off, so they're gonna drop right into these torque horseshoe washers. And of course, our cable's gonna be on this side and our brakes are gonna be on this side, but I just wanted to show you this because you want the cable going in this direction. So let's get ready to drop it on there. First, we're gonna pull our caliper spacer and then slowly and easily drop this in here, line it up with the caliper. Get that rotor in between those brakes and then drop it home. There we go. Definitely gonna need to adjust those brakes after we torque all this down. Anytime they ship a bike without the front wheel on, you're gonna have to adjust your front brakes. Let me get our washer on there and our really nice acorn nuts. I love these. Get those on both sides and we're gonna batten those down with the 19. All right, we're gonna carefully cut the zip tie off of this cable and run that cable down through the horseshoe, and then we'll reinstall the top of this guy. And just kind of push that down. That cable is gonna fight you a little bit. It's kind of thick. And line up our screw here. Okay, so getting this together was kind of a bear. These torsion washers and brackets are a new style. They're not shown in the instructions. It shows the old style in the instructions. So I just used common sense to get it back together the way I thought it should go back together, running the washers on the outside of the forks. The instructions show them on the inside. It seems to be working. I did go ahead and loosen up my caliper, so you know, it's rubbing, but I'm gonna adjust it as soon as I get the bike all together. So if you have any questions about that, hit me up. The instructions might not be very helpful. So now it's time to put on the fender and the headlight. Let's crack this sucker open and check it out. Very nice, very nice. Pretty cool. And to put that stuff together, you're gonna use a 4 and 5 Allen key, and you're gonna need a 10 mil wrench, which doesn't come with the bike. There's a 10 mil nut on the back of here. All right, we got our 10 mil nut off of that headlight bolt, so we're just gonna slide our fender in here and line it up with that bolt. And then these guys are gonna run right up here. Now you do have this cable tie that's gonna coincide with this fender arm, so this might be a little tricky too. All right, so we're gonna run our bolt through the arm on the fender and then get it through that cable tie, which is a little tight, and just get her started by hand. These are actually kind of easy to cross thread, so be gentle. And of course we're gonna run one into the other side. Be real sweet. Make sure that's just wanting to walk right in there. All right, now we're gonna take out our headlight bolt, and there's 2 washers on there, so we're gonna run one through the headlight bracket and then on the back of it, and then through that fork, and then through the fender, and then we're gonna put our 10 mil bolt right on the back. All right, and that's gonna be a number 5 Allen key. Tighten that sucker in there. I'm not gonna go all the way tight because, like I said, as soon as I have the bike all together, I'll go through and adjust everything. There we go. That's gonna need some adjustment. And our power cable, orange as always, headlights on these. Let's go ahead and plug that sucker in. Make sure you line up the tabs, and there we go. I'm gonna throw the pedals on here real quick, and if you've seen any of my videos, you know I won't be running these long. You can either use a 15 mil wrench or a number 6 millimeter Allen key out the back. I prefer the Allen key. So we'll get that sucker going. Righty-tighty on the right. Lefty-tighty on the left. Smooth. All right, time to flip her back over. See how clumsily I can do this. not so bad. All right, got our kickstand down, and it looks like we have to connect that rear motor. All right, so everything else is pretty academic. Got to remove some plastic, connect the rear motor, center the display, and just kind of tune everything and torque everything right where I want it. And then it's going to be time to fire it up, get it out in the sunshine. All right, I think I got it all dialed in. Let's fire it up, check that display. Super colorful, real nice. Better headlight. There we go. Bump through the PAS levels. Bump through all the different settings. All right, I'll go through that more in another video, but let's get this thing out in the sunshine. Well, there it is, pretty sexy, huh? It's kind of windy today, but I'm gonna go for a ride, and I'll be riding it to work and back all week, and I'll report back to y'all, let you know what I think. If you're into that, do me a favor and slug that bug. Come back and check me out. Cheers. Dude, this bike is no joke.